Tim Briggs here, back at Idlewild Park for another round. I shoot a good round today. Spoiler alert, it's a good round, and it starts off well. I'm throwing an octane off the tee. Throw a little high, throw a little short, but unbeknownst to me, it gets a great roll up to the basket, and that's a great spot to be in. To birdie number one is a great way to start the round. And that's how I start. Make that putt and go into hole 2. 1 under. If I'm going to shoot a good round at Idlewild, that's almost a must make. I'm on hole 2 here with a Tempest, trying to get max distance, trying to flex this through the gap and trying to get it to come back up to the basket. Put a lot of height, a lot of spin on that guy, and it just kind of turned into a turnover shot. And it just kept going and going and going. So it got great distance. Down to the left, though, in a very difficult position. No great look, no great window to the basket. So I tomahawk up there and throw a great shot. Past the basket, about a 15-footer downhill, very manageable par putt, in which I miss. That's a bad putt. Boy, that's a bad putt. Bummer. So gave that one back. I'm at even par. Trying to throw the same shot off the tee here on 3 as I did on 2. Trying to do this kind of turnover forehand shot and throw it really well. A lot of height, a lot of spin. I had to miss that last tree, and it didn't. Bummer. That was a really good drive. Now I've got about a 120-foot jump putt that, unfortunately, I can't really get at the basket. There's a tree in the way. So I know this is going to finish left. Got that down there, about 100, 120 feet, but gave myself a nervy 15-footer after I just missed one. You don't want to have to putt this one again. I just walk up and putt it, and boy, I almost missed it. But luckily, I made it. Still at even par. Hole 4, having to throw the rare backhand shot for me, throw my Mamba. Got it down the fairway, just a little nose up, a little inside. I knew it was going to be in the woods. It's about 20 feet in, not where you want to be. I'm trying to tomahawk this up to maybe get something in circle 2, maybe give me a putt, and I hit a tree up there, but it got up there a good bit of a way. And so I've got about a, 90-footer uphill. I know I can get that there, but I just don't execute a very good putt. Put it out to the right, and again, another nervy 15-footer for par. Not what you want, but I sink it. So, keeping that even par. Number 5, trying to flex an octane, trying to keep it really flat out of my hand, and just yank that guy. Yank it to the left in the woods. I have to step out with this cap wrap. I'm trying to flex one up there, and I don't put enough air in this guy. I just kind of throw it into the ground. It skids up a little bit, gives me a circle 2 look for par, but that's not what you want on this hole. I actually put a pretty good putt on this. Just put it out to the right a little bit. So bogey, I'm at +1. Trying to throw a flip-up Thunderbird here, and it just goes really straight and into the rough on this hole. I needed that guy to go really far to the right, and it didn't do that. I'm about 80 to 90 feet away. Unfortunately, I can't get a putt at the basket. I've just got to kind of pitch it down and let it skid up to the basket. And that's what I do, and I tap in for par. I'm at +1 on this par 5. You've got to hit the drive on this guy if you're going to get at least a par on this. It's not a difficult shot off the tee, but it kind of plays with your head psychologically. I throw my motion, which is like a Firebird, and I thought I was going to hug that right-hand side, but it ended up being a great shot. I'm in a great position right in the middle of the fairway, and I'm trying to flex this Tempest and missed that shot by about a foot. And so now I'm in trouble. I'm scrambling. This is my 3rd shot. All I can do is tomahawk and try to get it up the fairway as much as I can, which I do. That's a really good tomahawk shot. So now I'm about 100 feet away, but I don't have any great gap. Another tomahawk. I know it's going to end right. It just ends up about 10 to 15 feet farther right than I was anticipating. So I have a par putt, but but that was not a good effort. I needed to hyzer that around the tree. And like a doofus, I just put it really high into the tree, which then leaves a very nervy 15-footer for bogey. Definitely don't want to double bogey this. Thankfully, I just step up and putt it with pace and put it in. Preserve my bogey. I'm +2 heading into hole 8. This is a very birdieable hole. I throw my shark. It's not a bad shot. I just needed to put it out to the right more. I threw that inside and to the left. Unfortunately, I have this putt, which is not a great look. I've got a hyzer around a tree. And out of the hand, I thought that was a decent putt, but there was wind that kind of lifted that thing, and so settled for par. I'm on hole 9. I'm at +2. I'm throwing my cap wrap. I'm hoping this kind of flexes up toward the basket. But if I'm going to miss, that's a good miss. You want to miss to the left. I've got a putt uphill, very uphill. I know I can get this at the basket, but unfortunately I don't. I throw it low. Settle for par. So I'm on to hole 10. I'm on to the back 9. If I'm going to shoot a good round here today, I've got to go 4 under on this back 9, which I know is doable because hole 10 is a hole I do really well on, but unfortunately I yank that octane down to the left. This is not a good start to the back 9. I've got about 120 feet to the basket, but I can't go at the basket. I've got to go right of the basket and hyzer something up, and so I gave myself about a 20-footer for par to start my back 9, and thankfully I sink that. So at +2 and hole 11, this is where things turn around. This is a super difficult hole. It is a tight gap. You got to throw something really, really straight down the fairway. And I'm just trying to get my octane through the gap and hope I get lucky with some trees. And I'm listening for the tree, and I hear no trees. There's a billion trees to the left, and somehow that gets through all of them. And I get all the way down to this spot, which is probably 35 to 40 feet away. This is definitely the best drive I've ever had on this hole. Definitely got lucky on it. So I'm looking at this putt. I've got this gap here, but to make this putt, I'd have to anhyzer the putt, and I'd have to put a lot of spin on it, and that does not feel very comfortable to me. So then I look at this putt, stepping out and hyzering it around some trees. It's a blind putt. I don't like that one either. I'm really torn on what to do. It's a 50-50 proposition for me. And ultimately, I decided to go with this inside gap. So I'm thinking spin, I'm thinking anhyzer. And, out of the hand on this guy, I was like, that guy is in. And it is. Money. That is a good birdie. A birdie in hole 11 is just really rare for me. I would expect rare for most folks. That's a good birdie. So back to +1. I'm on to hole 12. I'm trying to hyzer flip up this Thunderbird, get it to fade to the right, and throw it pretty straight. Get some fade. It gets lucky there through the rough, or it doesn't hit a tree. And so I'm not where I want to be. I'm in the rough, but I've got about an 85-foot putt uphill that's unobstructed. I've got a clear path to the basket. I know I've got enough power to get this putt to the basket. So that's what I want to do. I want to give it a chance. And out of the hand, I thought I put too much height on this and it was going to be short, but it was a good line. But just enough to squeak over the front of the basket. I'll take that. Back-to-back birdies. I'm back to even. And this hole, 13, is very birdieable. You can't see me very well on this, but I threw a cap wrap. I didn't commit to it, just kind of babied it. And it finishes short and right. And this was not a putt to really try. So I pitch up. I take my medicine. On to hole 14. This is a very backhand hole in which I throw a forehand that kind of flexes and turns over up to the basket. I think it hits a tree here late, but a pretty good drive. I'm almost basket high. Unfortunately, I've got to hyzer my putt around a tree. I've got some limbs to deal with. This is not really a putt I practice from one knee, but it's something that is makeable. Unfortunately, with this guy, I just put it way too far out to the right. hits a tree. Thankfully, gives me a very manageable putt to stay at even, which I'll take. So I put this in, and I believe this is now to 14 or 15? 15. This is a super tight gap. It's about 5 feet wide, 6 feet wide. If I were playing a tournament, I would tomahawk it. It's just what I feel most comfortable with, hitting that gap. So I'm trying to throw this high and trying to get it down, maybe basket high, and I do. And I'm hoping it doesn't fade down to the left and get some bad ground play. And luckily, it kind of stuck up against a tree, about an 85-footer. No, maybe, I don't know, 75 feet uphill. Just put it off to the right, but tap in par. Now I am to 16 and have to throw a backhand. This is a new tee, and it's just a really difficult shot for a forehand. I'm trying to hit this inside gap, and I do. I missed these trees by inches. I'm thinking I'm probably short of the basket, but I was long of the basket. That's about 20 feet long. I'm putting for birdie after throwing a backhand off the tee, which I feel really good about. So this would feel great to make this putt. It would put me at 1 under. So I take my time. I'm trying to putt it with pace, trying to keep it low, and that's exactly what I do, and put it in. So I'm at 1 under onto hole 17. Trying to throw this flip up Thunderbird, trying to get it to fade right, trying to be down there in the fairway. This is actually a pretty good shot. And unfortunately, I hit a tree. This is taking birdie out of the equation. Throwing a motion here, trying to hyzer it down the fairway, hits a tree. So now I'm in trouble. I've got about 120 feet to the pin. I tomahawk and just threw a little high, so I'm short. I've got a circle 2 putt for par to keep myself at 1 under. This is a tough putt, and I'm not expecting to make this, but thankfully I gave it enough height and enough pace to squeak in there, and I'll take that. That keeps me at 1 under, heading to 18. This is one of my favorite shots on the whole course. If I throw my octane with the right angle, I know I'm going to put myself in a good position, and I do. That's such a fun shot to throw, and you can't throw it much better than what I did. I mean, I parked this guy. As you will see, I've got about 9 feet for birdie, and this will put me at 2 under, and spoiler alert, I'm not going to miss this guy. So I believe that ties my personal best at Idlewild. 4 under on the back is nothing to be ashamed of, for sure. Feel good about that round. One day I will shoot even better. Until next time.